Hello and welcome back to the OCS 2019, week number 5, game number 2. That was a absolute stomperoonie.
It was, but it was the fun kind of stomp. It was the clean kind of stomp, and that's a lot more fun, so, at least in my perspective, sometimes than the sort of just balls to the wall, chaos kind of stomp.
I don't think I've ever said stomperoonie before.
It sounds like a delicious pasta treat.
Sounds like something I'm literally never going to say ever again. But
oh, that means I can steal it.
Yeah, let's go into game number 2. It's going to be UTS versus Mammoth. UTS, over the course of the season, 4 weeks, struggling to pick up a victory so far. Have had some good performances, some very rough ones, but it does seem like once things sort of go downhill a little bit, they fall off the cliff very quickly.
Yeah, I think something I've noticed about UTS as well is like it's just a case of it almost becomes hyper versus the world in a lot of their games, from what I've seen. He's been a very strong top laner, especially when on the Silas, but it hasn't been enough to take that team to a victory just yet. And this time they're going to be up against Mammoth Academy, who, I mean, they're one of the stronger teams right now. They've been looking pretty solid. They've only dropped 1 match so far, I believe. And it's going to be a challenge for UTS. I'm curious if they're going to be up for it, but like on paper, I'm definitely leaning towards Mammoth taking this one.
Yeah, certainly the case, but I think it also comes down to a more broader topic, which does apply to like a lot of the OCS teams. And like consistency is very important in competitive League of Legends, especially in a best-of-1 format, right? Like you get 1 chance at a team for the year. Like that's it. You can talk about like, oh yeah, you play one game a week, right? And then it's you play like in 1 week, 2 week, yada yada. But like that is genuinely it for the season. And then consistency in terms of like gameplay, but consistency in roster is a big one to overcome. We just saw Gravitas look like a completely different team. This is UTS that played last week. They had their AD carry subbing in for their mid lane, and now they've got Fuzzy Zola back, and Iano coming over from AV Academy, I think, filled in, and now Cadence is back in the AD carry position. So getting back to normalcy. On the other side of the coin, though, Mammoth have 3 changes as well.
Yeah, Mammoth also isn't really going to be seeing that same Mammoth that we've seen before. I believe it's the top lane as well as the AD carry who are changing. And
yeah, mid lane as well. Like Halo's coming in. My wristband has just fallen off. We'll throw that away. But yeah, like 3 people coming through. It's Redemps. Their old top laner is filling in for the AD carry position. Miasma is he's gone. And Fudge coming through. Long-time OCS name. Was playing for, I'm blanking on the team name, Fantix's team from last split's OCS. Intuition. That is the one, I believe, and was too young to play in the qualifiers, unfortunately, for OPL. But now has been like a name around at least Oceanic Challenger solo queue for a long time, so coming in hot.
Yeah, so going to be making... Would this be his first OCS game then?
No, I think he played the regular season. I just don't. I think it was like an age thing with promoting to OPL, something like that. Also, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm the one with the microphone, so I've now just announced it as if it is gospel. That is not the truth. But yeah, Mammoth, I think individually for a bunch of these players have looked very good. Like we've talked about, like week after week, it's like Redemps, Riven, Thien, Riven, those sort of guys. They have that individual kind of powerhouse, and Fudge, I think, in his playstyle fits into that mold of what I see as a Mammoth Academy player.
And that's really good because if you are, looking to sort of replace a player on a team or someone stepping in, you want them to sort of maintain that sort of team like ethos, I suppose, like to continue with the same style because it leads to an easier transition. I'm assuming communication would hopefully be similar as well if they have a similar play style. I mean, that could be completely wrong.
Yeah, like there's absolutely no link between
there's no link between play style and communication. But in a perfect world, it's essentially you're replacing the same tool with another tool. That's
we can pretend that's how it works, but. Yeah, we are going to head into the draft. UTS sitting at 0-4 right now. Mammoth Academy as 3-1, looking to pick up another victory here. Mammoth on red side, UTS taking the blue side.
And right away, Jarvan is going to be our first ban. It was the priority pick in our last game, but we won't be seeing it again. I'm a little bit surprised because Jarvan's usually one that kind of slips through the cracks. Tarek also banned away as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see is Morgana priority between the patches going down fairly significantly. Do we see another Yuumi ban? Do we see the first Yuumi game of OCS this split? If ever, brand new champion, I would very much like to see that today. I think also, just from my anecdotal experience in solo queue, seeing people play it, Frolic, big Yuumi player in my head. So interested to see if he gets his hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, if it isn't banned away, the Silas is what is going to be taken away from Hyper. Not too surprised to see that ban as well. I mentioned that before. It is one of his stronger champions. So I hope we do get to see Yuumi, actually. I think this would be a fun game to see Yuumi. And I mean, if you're UTS and you're already a bit behind, why not give that new champion a go?
Well, I also just genuinely feel like she's good. Like, it's just a good champion. Like, you take away, like, she's super whack playstyle. Like, you can just not exist as a champion for times if you want. You just get to ride on someone's back. And it's fairly interesting in, like, it's more of like a release of champion, much like Ivan, that you look at a role and it's now played very differently when you pick that specific champion. She is incredibly unique, but isn't going to get banned. Aatrox, the powerhouse, is going to get first picked here for UTS.
Yeah, not too surprised as well. Hyper likes his duelers, so I would be surprised to see that taken in the top lane. Going to try and carry off that one as we wait to see how Fudge responds. Looking at Xayah, Rakan is available as well. We could see the Lovers duo.
Are we going to see the Xayah Rakan immediately locked in?
Yep.
And yeah, that's going to be the case. Very, very strong bottom lane, already locked in for Redemption Isles. And that's going to be an answer. Jinx, that could be a Yuumi.
That could be. I mean, yeah, Yuumi suits well with Jinx,
Morgana?
but Morgana is still up, and Morgana I still feel is almost that like top priority support because of how strong she is.
I'd like want to see Yuumi, but also Morgana in this situation would just be so much better. Rakan with a bunch of the changes, slower engage here, and given that you now get to lock in a hyper carry that outranges the opponent in the lane, you have the extra safety with the Morgana. This is just a very smart answer, I think, from UTS towards the bottom side, and something they should be comfortable on.
And Ryze so far has been one of those signature Mammoth Academy picks right now. It's been taken, I believe, it's been taken or banned out of Mammoth Academy every single game so far, so not too surprised to see Halo running on that Ryze.
Well, also like a new mid laner, right? Ryze was playing for a couple of weeks, and now it's going to be Halo coming in. Long-time OCS mid laner, big on the rise as well, as he's been a champion at the height of the meta for a very long time. Most mid laners should be comfortable with that one, and he's going to get his hands on it. Interesting ban there.
Yeah, Karthus being banned away. I almost think that's like a jungle ban targeting after Leet right now, and Victor is going to be the next one taken away.
Interesting stuff. Not a lot of jungle bans across the board. It is just the Jarvan and the Karthus that were taken away. Neither team has opted in, so we kind of do just have a single solo lane, then the bottom lane's kind of match. So a little bit of a mismatch in terms of priority. Interesting to see if Mammoth, most likely, given that the Ryze can flex out of this set of bans, it's going to be the jungle lock-in, whatever Kevy wants to go towards, something probably fairly standard to allow them to open up options towards Fudge on the top side.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit surprised by how much Mammoth is currently prioritizing these jungle bans right now, because they just threw down 2 in a row. Victor and Fiora being banned away. So I imagine Mammoth at this stage, they're going to look to probably even counterpick that jungle.
Well, and I expect it's going to be a blind pick right now. They're going to open up like the pool for Fudge. Like you already do see the Aatrox, but last pick jungle certainly would be a choice, and I feel like you may just get more bang for your buck holding the top lane. Hecarim is going to be it, so makes a lot of sense there. UTS kind of have to now show both solo lanes. They do get the jungle answer, but given that the Sejuani, the Karthus, Jarvan are all banned away, the S tier has kind of been hit. And you have less options.
I don't know. I'm going to put on my Reddit silver hat right now and say, oh, but that Hecarim can be flexed. But yeah, I do feel that's going to be in the jungle this time around. As we're seeing, Azir LeBlanc is going to be the one who gets secured for Fuzziola.
You're just a big fan of being technically correct. Like
I am.
The barest margin of technically correct. And it's like, yeah, okay. I can also play like Proto Belt Q Max Gragas support, but also I'm trolling, so.
Have I ever told you about my Aurelion Soul jungle?
That sounds garbage, and I never want to hear about it ever again.
Alrighty. Mastery 7, by the way, as Frolic is going to be locking in that Elise for Elite.
So pairing some late game powerhouse of the Jinx with super early game priority. LeBlanc Elise is a very scary 2v2 for the mid lane. I expect Halo is going to have to go towards the cleanse. If he doesn't go for that one, he's going to have a very rough time getting through the early stages, I suspect.
And Nico.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So Nico. Is that going to be top lane into the Aatrox? It could just go mid.
I would like it better, actually, into the Aatrox. I think you'd be able to zone a bit better and have like better spacing in the top lane right now. Would it be an on-hit Nico?
He can. I feel like Nico, in more recent times, has been much more weighted towards AP.
It has.
But she's also been much more weighted towards mid lane, right? Yeah. You could just go straight up AP Nico, AD rather, on hit. And
I feel like on hit would actually be the stronger matchup into the Aatrox itself, though.
Yeah. Like, if you look at like the matchups they banned away from the Aatrox, sure, the Fiora, like the Bruiser that gets to parry your very obvious, like, CC, it chops your head and you just hit your W, but Victor, we saw last game, Thien spent the entire time just kind of playing on the precipice of the engage range of the Renekton, and if you can play on that Knife's Edge very well, like a Nico sort of could to an Aatrox, then could be a fairly solid matchup for the top side. Yeah, so interesting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a fun one, that is for sure. I almost feel like this game, much more than the last one, is really going to come down to sort of the skill of the players. Like, during the laning phase as well, it's going to be very interesting and exciting one. When you're looking at, like, let's take a look at UTS right now, because they're the team that really needs to win. They're 0-4 in the overall standings of everything, and it's top 6 advance to playoffs.
Yep.
They need to start winning pretty much now, and a win over Mammoth would be huge. Is this the team comp that will do it?
Like, it can. You have a lot of opportunity. If you get ahead with Elise LeBlanc, you have what is effectively 5 squishy champions that you just get to one hit at the start of any fight you choose, right? This is a game that if goes the way of UTS, could get out of control incredibly quickly, and then you also have the fallback mechanism of like a Jinx Morgana late game.
Yep.
Fairly well rounded, they have the front line of an Aatrox, and as you do track later and later, then you do just become more of that very standard League of Legends 4-1 sort of teamfight comp, but on the other side of the coin, like you can say fairly similar stuff. They don't have a tank necessarily, Hecarim will get there eventually, but if Mammoth's lineup gets ahead, then you look at the other side and you have 4 very easy targets. Rakan engaged, Hecarim engaged, Nico is obnoxious from ahead, so either of these teams I feel like going to be focusing on the stuff that happens early. Onus is definitely on the UTS though to get that at least rolling.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, a lot of my focus actually might be on Halo and his use of the Realm Warp in either to like sort of get out of tricky situations or possibly even follow up with the elite Fuzzy Zola roam. Like, you should be able to follow, I feel, quite nicely and maybe not let themselves get caught out in sort of bad situations on the side lanes.
Certainly could be the case. That's a interesting skin choice there from Cadence. What is that? Is that Odyssey Jinx?
I believe that is Odyssey, yes. You can tell by the neon hair.
Oh.
I mean, she always has neon hair, but like that one's just glow-in-the-dark neon hair. You can stick that.
I've never actually like zoomed in on the skin and had a look. Is she shooting like a?
It's like a laser rifle.
Shard? Yeah, oh no, okay.
It's like a little laser rifle right now. We might see it in action as here comes Mammoth walking on through, 3 members strong.
I was about to roast Kevy there. Didn't look like it was going to get the auto attack, but eventually they do. So just like we saw the Jarvan do last game, walk in, jungler wards, reset, buys a sweeper. He's going to be matched on the other side.
It is, as an aside, it is so refreshing to actually see teams match. This just tells a lot about the kind of games I'm used to seeing and participating in, where like invades happen and aren't matched, and you just get really, really sad. Usually because
literally AFK on the other side.
Yeah, pretty AFK either in the under the tower or at the fountain, and you just question mark and go why.
Yeah, to follow up the conversation we're having in Champ Select, it is going to be the Glacial Augment and Doran's Ring picked up for Fudge. So I expect we're going to be seeing the AP variant rather than the on-hit.
Also, picking up from what we were talking about before, Halo went ahead into Cleanse, as a smart little boy should do.
As he
went into,
absolutely should.
Went into the Elise LeBlanc. As actually we're going to see a bit of a jungle invade happening right now. Dark Binding does connect onto Mr. Kevy. I feel Sunken Cause Fallacy right here, right now. Mammoth actually committing for it, but there is a response by Cadence. There's going to be a smite battle for this red buff. Who will it go to right now? A premature smite by the side of UTS, and that's Mammoth, I believe, who has collected it. And Kevy once more trying to run down UTS, and Ignite was dropped.
First blood barely not taken by Mammoth Academy, but they get the red buff, and they force Lead to have to recall without taking a single camp. Loses his smite, loses his flash, and has to base. Pre-first clear. That is a disastrous start. And I thought for a moment, I feel like they kind of got baited by Isles wasting his W, right? Like Mammoth walk in without having to blow the CC like Frolic did, and they got access to the bush.
Isles going in aggressive right now. Cadence is actually in quite a bit of trouble. Flash is available pretty late on it, however, and one more auto will be the first blood.
And he just walked up to the wall, straight W in a straight death there. That's just greedy play from the Jinx.
Yeah, I feel as if UTS might already be thrown off mentally. You have a missed smite. You have a sort of walking to your death Cadence right now. And Cade, this is just really, really good for Mammoth. A little bit flustered right now on behalf of UTS. I expected a bit more. They're just not on pace right now.
Heal burnt level 1. You're a Jinx Morgana. You cannot tell.
Oh my gosh.
He's got it with a Q. Oh. Barely.
All right.
Barely.
I was a little worried this was going to turn into one of those games.
Yeah.
It was starting to look like it there, but Kevy knew what he was doing. Going back a bit, though, to that sort of first fight over the red buff, I think who that benefits most will be Halo in this situation, because with Elite behind, that's going to get rid of so much pressure that could be put on like the mid lane.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't even need to take the cleanse. He could just bank on getting a level 1 kill and then gets TP, and then he's fine, no gank pressure. But you're possibly right there. He's not going to be able to like abuse his matchup by any means, but it kind of does negate any sort of gank threat than the Elise would have had early game. I feel like Fudge on the top side, because the junglers have just been non-interactive. Level 1, Lead has to base and is barely just trying to scrounge some camps along the map. It did mean that he's sort of isolated in the matchup, walks down, hits the blast plant, gets some vision for his mid laner once again. So I really like seeing when lanes kind of float between each other. The worst way to play League of Legends, for everyone out there playing solo queue, is to stick in your lane and then beat your opponent and then complain your team is garbage. If you haven't left your lane, then you're literally trolling.
Yeah, you share the love.
Yeah,
beat your lane, beat your enemies' lanes. Cadence, what again, guys?
Here we
A
go.
flash forward by Redempts as well. Cadence is in a lot of trouble. Another kill for Redempts.
And the worst part about this is Redempts is a top laner. So for Cadence, this feels doubly worse. Goes back by Zakul. Can't afford anything else and is certainly playing for the later stages of this game right now. 0-2 start off here. 10 CS down in the lane, and this wave is going to crash into the turret as well. This is a disastrous start for what was a matchup they insta-locked in draft.
Dark Binding, not even close right there. Frolic just trying to push back this bot side siege from Mammoth. Another thing I want to point out too is things aren't going to be getting better for Cadence anytime soon. Flash isn't even halfway through its cooldown yet. I mean, it kind of hits right now. Another Dark Binding, unfortunately missing. It's just, I feel as if UTS's bot lane really needs help bad, but unfortunately Leet was so far behind from that start, it's not going to be coming.
Yeah, there's no help to be had right now. If Mammoth can continue sort of the tracking they've had on the Elise, you can see isn't spotted exactly by the ward in the tri-bush. Actually, there's sitting behind a pink ward, but because they have priority top, because they have hella priority bottom lane, it's very easy to just walk in the opponent's jungle, track down the Elise, and then you really shouldn't be dying to ganks, right? If you know what path she's taken, you know where she's going to go, and it's quite easy to just play safe on that side of the map when your other side is also winning. You sort of think about League of Legends in a vacuum, and you look at two comps, and it's like, okay, which side wins? More often than not, it's like you have a winning top side or a winning bottom side. Not necessarily both that we have in this case, so Mammoth do have a lot of control all over the map right now.
Well, speaking of, trying to counteract a losing bot side with the winning top side, Leet has moved to the top side of the map right now, kind of undetected, going through the bushes, going to be looking for that gank, but it was just short. So Fudge might not know. I mean, obviously there's some suspicion there, otherwise that clone wouldn't be going in that direction, but it hasn't been confirmed just yet.
Oh, hits level 6 as well. Can he buy enough time? Hecarim is around.
Oh, stun didn't connect. The stun and the minion instead, and now they're held in place. Fudge trying to buy time. Lead is actually super low health, and here comes Kevy zooming on in. There is nowhere for this Elise to go. It will be a kill for Fudge, and that should be another one in Mammoth's favor.
And no assist for the Hecarim either. Didn't even need it there. Fudge with a straight up 1v2. And that is just disastrous for the Elise. First death of the game, but first gank, an absolute failure there. A bunch of plates is going to be going down. Hyper sitting underneath his turret, but there is a Rise kind of walking over.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Halo is level 6 as well. Realm Robe is available. He's going through the tower. Ultimate's dropped. I feel as if you're in a little too deep, Hyper, trying to make too much happen. Down he goes. Kevy securing that kill, and this is starting to get crazy for Mammoth.
Yeah, very nice roam out of there from Halo.
Zola
trade was close.
Try to find something, but I think the health bars are a little bit too high on the side of Mammoth. It doesn't matter. Fuzzy Zola is going to make himself known. He's stepping towards Halo, but there still is Kevy in the bush. He has to try and retreat, but held in place. Here comes the damage. Burst isn't quite there, but Fudge is making his way down as well. Oh, a good little escape by Fuzzy Zola actually. Goes back up through the lane. Fudge overcommitted.
Yeah, you can straight up see the missing pings. Mammoth certainly bamboozled themselves with that one. Fudge TP'd back to the play, has a lost chapter now, and is incredibly strong, but fortunately unable to spot the LeBlanc. Fuzzy Zola kind of gets away with murder there. Going
back to that team fight that happened and how it all started, I feel kind of bad for UTS because Leet's Cocoon, it was one of those get down Mr. President minions. It kind of just came running out of nowhere and just got right in the way at the last second.
That's a really apt description.
Those are the worst, too, as well. When you know that skill shot is going to hit, and then the minion just doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Yeah.
Simply
walks in the way. That Cocoon landing would have been his demise, right? Then,
it would have been able to, hold Fudge in place long enough for that burst damage to bring it down. So, unfortunate, a little bit of misstep from UTS leads into further advantages from Mammoth.
Yeah, certainly is the case. No Moby Boots here picked up by the Rakan just yet, but still has access all over the map. Air Dragon is going to be started off. Heavy doesn't have his ulti just yet, but no need for it as there's no contest over this one, just a concede here from UTS.
We have to have at least one Air Drake every single game. One Cloud Drake, a match. Them's the rules. Gonna have to live with it.
Yeah, start it off, get it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Get it out of the way. And a second one for us as well.
Nah, it's gonna be an Ocean.
Oh, it is Ocean. Okay, sorry. I jumped the gun a bit.
Yeah,
my bad.
Premature.
I was so excited. I want more Cloud Drakes. They're my favorite. Everyone loves them.
Damn, that is a very close plate to falling down, but bottom lane not looking like it's getting any easier. 30 CS taken off the cull here for Cadence, so silver linings here, but at least kind of just relieving a little bit of that pressure bottom side. Redempts very close to finishing off his Essence Reaver, but not quite enough gold on that recall.
I'm taking a look at the map right now, and something I want to bring up. There are nearly 0 blue wards at this map. It is all Mammoth.
There's 2.
I mean, okay, there's
3.
2.
Isles is standing on 1.
Oh, yeah.
So he...
Yeah, okay. So there are 3, but like in terms of just like control over the entire map, like easily that is advantage of Mammoth right now, as we're seeing. Yes, Mammoth pointing out where some of those wards are right there. Rapid fire pings going down onto lead. It's just everything going Mammoth's favor. And like second game in a row, it sort of feels like one team is just a couple steps ahead.
Yeah. And we mentioned it like coming into the game, right? You look at Elise, and we've seen already in the OPL, I think we've seen 2 other release, OCS rather, 2 other release games. One of them went interesting, very negative very quickly, and the other went fairly well. But Elise just is that champion, right? You want to get things rolling. Unfortunately, first invade well prepped there from Mammoth. Not even going to mention the fact that Aatrox did just get solo killed topside. Fudge able to pick that one up, and that turret is not got long left on his life. No TP, and the Hecarim is already taking the blue before Elise already gets there.
Well, I mean, yeah, Lead's coming up there, but can Lead actually take this fight? Yeah, Keezy noticed there. Look at that burst from Kevy. A Cocoon does hit this time, but Lee is still on the retreat. Not going to go under tower, however, but just going to continue rampaging the jungle.
Hits him with the Cocoon, and smites over the wall.
Yeah, good smite.
That is a rocket, just coming zooming up here. Ooh. Barely misses. Straight into Narnia. Oh, it actually did a weird little thing on the side of the map. That it kind of like goes skirt on the edge. Hits the wall and changes the angle. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
I missed that, but I was just more thinking about how much that rocket looks like Halley's Comet.
What's Halley's Comet?
You've never heard of Halley's Comet? It's a famous comet that comes like around the Earth like once every 84 years or something.
Ah, okay.
And it's like one of the more visible comets.
Has it happened in our lifetime?
Yeah, I think it happened in early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
It may even been late 90s, actually. Yeah, but like, you know, it's just one of those things that flies overhead and then you're never going to see it again, essentially.
Yep.
Like, oh, that was nice.
Ambitious there. Yeah, Cadence trying to get a little bit of the action. You know, nothing's happening for him in the bottom side. And it's like, oh, we can get some damage topside, maybe clean up a little bit of a kill, but wasn't able to find it.
Binding! Actually connecting on a Redemption. Yeah, there's just a lot of CC on the Isles right now who is able to back away safely. The damage not there.
Worst part about that is if he had the rocket, that is a kill. Yep. Ignite popped. Maybe heal would have been enough to barely save him, but that would have at least been double summoners from the Rakan, so... Yeah, but the bottom lane is wedged between multiple members here. Flashes are going to have to come out.
Bad situation. Dark Binding did miss. Isles tries to get over the wall, but goes right into Fuzzy Solo. Meanwhile, Redemp's on his own is trying to buy time with the Featherstorm, but Elite is on the hunt. The damage from that Xayah, so much Ignite has been dropped. Dark Binding connects, and Fuzzy Solo will be there to secure the kill.
Yeah, big shutdown. 500 extra in the hands of the LeBlanc, so very nice cleanup there. Found themselves a cheeky little bottom lane wandering into the river at the wrong time. Rocket tries to go for the scripter rocket, and unfortunately Cadence isn't scripting, so can't quite find the accuracy onto the base. Hits Isles in the face, but a little bit just too late there, so...
Consolation prize Rift Herald, though, going over to Mammoth, lose a fight in bot. Might as well collect that Rift Herald.
Yeah.
And with
Does he pop it immediately? Doesn't need to.
No, that tower's actually might go down on its own. Take a look at Fudge's positioning, already doing a bit of proxy farming as the minions do work on the tower. Hyper so far behind, can't really do too much to stop this. Tower may stay alive for now, though. Doesn't look like the minions will get.
Just super obnoxious. That's a 50 CS lead for Fudge. Got Sork Boots, has the water hose, of course, as he does have the Glacial Augment build. So you've got an Aatrox with a Cauliflower Hammer sitting underneath his turret, just being peppered with Qs over and over again with no real out from his jungler here. So disastrous situation topside that kind of... The catalyst of that play was that 2v1. They looked for the 2v1, right? They could not quite find it. Fudge able to turn that one around, and ever since then, it's been disaster.
I really like the decision to go sort of like icy Fudge this time. Fudge ice cream, I want to call it. Just because it, like, those slows really inhibit UTS from being able to dive and sort of get to that back line. Because so much of it is just like, they need to actually sort of run straight at Mammoth, I feel like. So the more I think about it, the more I like what Fudge is doing. Meanwhile, a bit of an invade happening. They're going for this red buff. Dark Binding connects onto the buff. Are they going to continue fighting for it? It's kind of like level 1 all over again right now. Redemp stepping forward, looking for it, and the smite steal once again from Kevy secures it. And with that blasting cone, Binding doesn't matter. He gets safely into that Dragon Pit.
Yeah, hits level 9 from the smite, so it was actually even there between the two junglers, but Kevy able to find that one. That's 2 in a row this game as hits him with the slam. Fudge is just, this is a train wreck on the top side, and it's not slowing down.
Like Hyper, who's been someone who I felt has been like so good, like been the core of UTS so far, is just getting dominated in this top lane by Nico right now. Ocean Drake as well going over to Mammoth, and UTS has to find somebody to get back in. This is could be in the bot lane right now. A lot of action. Teleport coming through, but already Redempts is down. Fudge showing up a little late, gets those slows. Frolic is on his own. He will be the next to fall. 1 for 1.
Yeah, okay, so Redemps finds himself in a little bit of trouble. Leek actually gets a successful gank off and hands some gold to his AD carry. 14 minutes means that plating is just gone as the TP react is there. Rift Herald dropped. This turret will certainly go down, but the extra gold won't be there. So Emma still extending their gold lead, probably up to just about 6,000 here between the two at only 14 minutes. This is a significant gold lead once again.
Yeah, it's even more so than what
that's
we
going to
saw
crash.
Oh, yeah, Caden's trying to do what they can to stop the crash, and nope, yep, distracted by the minions, so it's not going to go through. Good job by Cadence, I suppose. Well, good job by the minions, actually, in stopping that Rift Herald.
Shelly's real dumb. She has one job, and then she sees a minion and decides...
CS is important.
Just not about that job.
You need CS. That's how you buy items.
That is true.
So.
Shelly get to buy items.
Yeah,
I feel like she does actually have item slots. NPCs, even turrets. What was it on Reddit? Like a couple of... Like the other day, turrets have some stupidly named buff that I'm now completely blanking on, so this story is literally irrelevant.
Was it turrets or was it the minions? I thought it was like the minions had like special shoes or something.
Yeah, they had fancy feet.
Yeah, they had fancy
shoes.
Yeah.
Little elf shoes.
No, I mean, exactly. So Shelly just wanted to get some of those shoes, was trying to get some farm in. Unfortunately, you know, objectives are more important.
How many feet does Shelly have? Oh, that's a kill.
Oh.
Fudge is actually just killing people too quickly.
Yeah.
Like on the other side of the map, he just literally one-hits them. He's got the double super soaker build now. Spooky Ghost into the water hose, and as soon as that lands, even on a mobile member like the LeBlanc, just able to chase him down.
I feel as if like they just can't send people into these 1v1 situations with Nico anymore. Fudge is a bit too far ahead, like, and it's looking too strong. Lead actually is in trouble. Realm Orb is going to be coming through with a dive as well, but it's unneeded as already Cadence is down. Frolic should be the next. Yes, there's that stopwatch, but so many members of Mammoth are there. 2 kills on the side of the red.
And this is just a complete demolishing of UTS here. Looking for the extra dive is Halo, but mid turret falls down. Can they get a second one?
I mean, they're looking for it. Hyper is sort of on his own. Lead is coming for that flank, so Mammoth will retreat at least for now. I don't imagine UTS is going to chase this one down.
Yep, certainly not the case. Blue buff is going to be stolen away for the second time in a row. Fuzzy Zola wants to do something about it, but Smite is going to be there, and Kevy just laughs that one away.
Halo isn't completely healthy, but there's no completed items yet on Fuzzy Zola, so I'm not sure that damage is there. Kevy is also waiting. Yeah, Kevy should be able to run back up. Oh, the Super Mega Death Rocket does not connect, and Halo is doing it on his own, just turning that around, but Kevy still wants that kill. He'll trample over it for himself.
Yeah, ambitious play when you're this far behind, just grasping at straws, looking to take someone down. Rocket, unfortunately, just slightly wide. Fairly well calculated from Cadence, but Chain goes wide. The root is there, and Hecarim able to answer the call, so Fuzzy Zola does pay the price of that opportunity. Looks for it, can't quite find it.
We are nearly at a 10K gold lead right now, less than 20 minutes in for Mammoth.
It's coming.
And here comes Fudge. We might see that solo pop right now. Hyper trying to do what he can. Ultimate has been used, but Fudge is just throwing so much damage. Here comes the Pop Blossom, but there is help arriving for the side of Hyper. It might not matter. Dark Binding does not hit as Hyper goes down.
Yeah, and he gets the kill, able to walk away from that one as well. 2 members rotating. CC unfortunately doesn't land. I feel like as soon as Cocoon goes wide, Binding goes wide, then Fudge could potentially just look to turn this one around. Didn't have his actives up as Super Soaker is going to come back online now.
There's been a lot of missed Cocoons and Bindings, unfortunately, for this game for UTS. Like, they need these abilities to hit, and they just have seemingly been off.
It's pretty hard, man. Yeah. Nico's just quick. Got a Ghost that gets to soak it out. I feel like the first time I saw Nico in the bottom lane in competitive, like watching Gravitas play it in the OPL last split, and it's like playing it into the Ezreal, and like you can just get to block out Qs, right? Actually, no. In the inverse matchup, like the Ezreal just gets to like eat your clone with Qs and pick up Klepto stacks and that, so Nico can use the clone to eat abilities.
I'm loving this confidence from Halo. He got hit by the Cocoon, used the cleanse, so he has no cleanse, but he stays there and keeps farming. Cocoon this time hitting onto Kevy, but the health bars are still very high on Mammoth. They actually might look to turn it around as the wave class. They could make a play for this tower right now.
Big flank is coming out from the Nico though, sitting below.
Oh, there we go. It does connect, and here comes the follow-up. Cadence is so low, and down he goes. Kevy gets 1 kill, but the Cocoon holds in place. Stopwatch keeps him alive as the tower falls, and the siege somewhat continues. Mammoth actually do the smart thing and back away, at least for now. However, Halo, again, just playing so far forward. He doesn't have cleanse. It does not matter.
Yeah, he didn't even have to burn any of the flashes. Fudge just behind the opponent.
Kevy actually gets found by Fuzzy Zola, finally getting someone on the retreat. I feel as if the LeBlanc's been looking for it every time, does get one, but is not going to be able to secure the buff as members of Mammoth are there to get him. Red buff on Fudge. Just
can
what
he get out of this one? LeBlanc is very slippery as they do go the wrong way, so he's going to be able to recall. I feel like if we could toggle the gold, LeBlanc should have so much. 1900. He's picked up a 500 gold shutdown, just got a 750, so has 2K to play with. He's still 1,000 behind his lane opponent, given his 50 CS down. It's certainly rough, but he's by far the most gold on his team.
I mean, no surprise as well, though, if we're taking a look at, gold differentials. Take a look at that top lane right there. Nearly 5K differential in favor of Fudge, unfortunately.
He's going to double him at some point this game.
Yeah, it's getting close to it. Hyper has been slowly catching up in terms of farm-wise, but I think that's more due to the positioning of the map and where he's been able to farm.
When you're talking about catching up in this sort of a deficit, it's like the time scale of a League of Legends match. You talk about scaling, like, if we get to late game, we're going to be sick. But the problem is, he just has 6 items, and you're going to have 2 as the Aatrox. Like, the time scale for you to be able to reasonably ever catch up is super far away. Zhonya's now completed before anything is done for Hyper. That is 3 items to
none.
Half an item. Like, he could have finished his cleaver instead of going... Actually, no, he had the Caulfield's hammer first, so... Just kind of sitting on that one, working on the cleaver as much as possible, but it looks to be very far in the future at this stage.
Fudge is very spicy right now at this stage. Double buff, able to push that bot lane. Teleport still available, which means the rest of Mammoth can start trying to prioritize around that Baron. There is some vision for UTS, so I imagine they're going to be focusing more on clearing it, at least at the moment. Actually, they're starting to go into the jungle. They might be looking for a cheeky pick.
Well, I think they just want the deeper vision. Like, you want to be able to get the Fudge into the backside, look for a flank. The contest is looking like it's potentially not going to be there, so Mammoth start this one up. They're not the tankiest of lineups. Rakan holds HP very high on the Baron because he has spammable shields and a spammable heal, but
I mean, within some action, Fuzzy Solo did go in but got chunked out almost immediately. Kevy was the target. He was quite low. Cocoon does hit on Halo, and Halo's going in a bit deep. Yeah, here comes a double kill for Fudge off of the Pop Blossom, and the rest of UTS is trying to get any scraps. They're not going to find anything.
And Fudge TPs off exactly that flank ward, gets in behind, and one hits the bottom lane of UTS, and this is going to be the easiest Baron of their lives. 4 members dead. Aatrox, no way to contest this 1v5, and they didn't even lose anything. Barely used any summoners. It was an Ignite and the top side burn from Fudge. He burns his flash, so Mammoth walk away with everything. Gold lead approaching 12,000 here and only 21 minutes into the game.
Yeah, with this Baron, I imagine Mammoth actually are in a position where they could look for that team fight that could possibly end the game. They are that far ahead right now. I mean, items tell the story. Hyper, still no completed item just yet, although when he backs, I would imagine something's going to be done in that regards. He's sitting on
1,000. We'll be able to buy it when he goes for a recall. But this just hurts. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, this is... Mammoth are going to walk at the base of UTS, and UTS are going to die.
Yeah.
They're just... Like, there's no ifs or buts about it. That is too much of a gold lead Baron on all 5 members. Not to mention, they still have Rakan Flash. So, if any engage they see, they can just go for it immediately. Their big engage tool kind of has everything available to him.
Yeah, and like, even if Fudge, doesn't have that Flash available, I mean, you still have Flash Heal on Redempts, you still have Flash Cleanse on Halo, and they're pretty far ahead as well. I mean, it's near Flame Horizon right now in the mid lane when taking it like that. It's just nothing, unfortunately, going UTS's way. There's miracle team fights going your way, and then there's the other team just throwing, and really they got to hope for, someone deciding, I'm so far ahead, I can 1v9.
Yeah, this is one of those games, like, you need 3 team fights to stabilize, right? Like, 1 team fight buys you time. 2nd team fight maybe buys you a little bit more. Like, the 3rd one, you get to a point where you feel relatively even, but we're a long way away. I actually like this play. They're going to have to burn the spell shield to go in.
They are going for it. Halo, though, is quickly just going to flash over the wall. He's still alive, and the rest of Mammoth is there. Fuzzyola is the first target, and down he should go. Legendary Fudge, as Frolic is low, trying to get away. Hyper trying to buy time, but Halo on the flank is able to take down that Morgana. Ultimate being used, but not going to save Hyper this time around. And with 3 down, Mammoth should be looking to end the Realm Warp. Not going to be taken. Does not matter. Fudge once more actually gets shut down by Lead.
1,000 gold shutdown to the hands of the Elise. Redempt's just sitting in their opponent's base right now, wanting the 1v2.
As the rest of the team is doing work on the tower. Really, this could be the final push to end this one. Then again, 8 seconds on Frolic. Maybe something can change. Inhibitor will definitely go down as we're seeing pings towards the middle of the map, so they're going to try and get as much as they can before Fuzzy Zola can get to them. Hyper on 10 seconds as well. Lee trying to buy time, does not connect with the Cocoon as the tower goes down. The next inhibitor falling so quickly. Dark Binding not going to find its mark. And here comes Fuzzy Zola looking for the flank. Inhibitor does go down, and now the retreat is on. And I don't think UTS can really afford to chase down in this one. Letho looking for that flank. Cocoon goes a little bit wide to the right. Fuzzyola isn't going to be able to chase down anyone as well.
And they finally do back away. So double inhib broken there with the Baron. Very nicely played. Fudge decides to troll with his gold lead there. It gives over 1,000, but I feel like that's a long way away from being relevant. I actually liked that play from UTS, and that's the worst thing, right? Yeah. They played that catch up to Halo very well. The timing of the Cocoon with LeBlanc breaking the spell shield, super clean. They lock him down. The cleanse is there, and unfortunately, they didn't have any vision of their opponents. Mammoth already on the rotation. Rakan immediately punishes once again without having to use the flash, so that tool is still going to be available as the last inhib is going to be the siege option here, whilst they have a tiny bit left on their Baron buff.
Flame Horizon now just achieved for Halo as well. And the thing, though, that I have to give credit to Mammoth at that is specifically Halo. Yeah, he got jumped on, but he kept his cool. He actually hasn't burned his stopwatch yet. Yeah, he flashed, but he still had more survivability available, even if UTS was there. Meanwhile, it is an attempt on Kevy right now. Fuzzyola trying to do what he can to get the back line. Meanwhile, look at this Pop Blossom. It's going to do a lot of damage to Hyper. Down goes the Aatrox. Kevy should be the next one to fall, but Redempts is just taking down member after member. Frolic trying to get away, will not be able to, and that should be the game. Mammoth just cleaning up right now. A double kill for the Nico, a triple kill.
Yeah, and that's the team fight they needed. Hecarim falls down, but just not enough to be able to defend the Nexus.
Yeah, so with that win, unfortunately, UTS still winless in this tournament. A little bit of fountain shenanigans as Mammoth improves to 4-1. Down goes the Nexus. Now.
Eventually. Eventually they get there, but that was that was rough. That was a disastrous start to the game. And that is really kind of the criticism that you can make of this team. Like, whole picture, you look at how they play the game, and it's like when they fall behind, things go disastrously very quickly. Unfortunately, if that is the case, and you fall behind at level 1, first invade, your jungler has to reset, doesn't get his red buff, you lose everything. That was just super dominant from the start of that match.
Especially when you have such a feast or famine jungler like the Elise, who really needs to get that early lead. You get her behind, you're essentially playing a 4v5 from that point forward until maybe the Elise can stabilize. Was not able to do so. Pressure was put onto that bot lane and just snowballed from there, not to mention Fudge on that Nico.
Comes in and he's just literally twerking on his opponent. He's just styling on the Nico on the top side. Like, a gank goes disastrous, hits him with a 1v2, and then from that point, he's just solo killing before the observers can catch up in the side lanes, just one-hitting people. He genuinely just one-hit a Morgana and Jinx around that Baron fight. He just walks up, lands the E, hits the ulti, and he's just like, all right,
cool.
See you, bro.
Game 1. Yeah, Baron's ours.
We outie.
Thanks, team.
Picked up the Baron, broke the base with it, and then we're able to clutch that one out. So Chiefs pick up game number 1. Mammoth going to pick up that victory in 2 very quick games, all honesty. But we'll see if we can continue the trend here. Game number 3 just after this break.